Welcome to Comanculo Chanel. This new watch, called the first Omega in Space Speedmaster Anniversary Series, on the other hand is inspired by an equally pioneering Speedmaster, the CK-2998, which in 1962 became the first Omega worn in space as part of the Mercury program. Dwelling on the history for a moment longer, the original CK-2998 that went to space was worn by astronaut Walter Schirra as his personal watch. In some regards, it was this act that set in motion the drive for Omega to create watches inspired by space and which a few years later led to it being Speedmasters on the wrists of Armstrong and company. So, while we might not talk about it as much, the CK-2998 is 100% one of the most important pioneering watches in history. Jumping forward from 1962 to 2024, a jump of 62 years, which is an oddly satisfying interval, we now have the first Omega in Space Speedmaster Anniversary Series. Call me shallow, but I think this is the best looking Speedmaster I've seen in a long time. It measured 39.7 mm in diameter, which is perfect for a retro chronograph in stainless steel with sweeping, round flanks and gently tapering lugs. The pump pushers and crown that sit along the 3 o'clock side are understated and effortlessly classy. Then, looking at the first Omega in Space Speedmaster Anniversary Series Black, aluminium tachymeter bezel, I love the flat design of it that really highlights and emphasizes the domed sapphire crystal. The shape of the crystal is heavily inspired by the original Hesalite glass, but produced in modern materials that are much harder and more scratch-resistant. The style of the case, bezel and glass is referred to as the key elements of second-generation Speedmasters. Moving beneath the crystal we have a dial with equally strong retro influences. The straight hour markers and alpha hands are filled with vintage superluminova, which is dark brown in color, as if discolored by age and sun exposure. The base of the dial isn't true black but instead a dark gray blue, which I really like as it feels more characterful than pitch black. The display elements are much as you'd expect from a Speedmaster with Tricompax chronograph counters denoting the running seconds, 12-hour timer and 30-minute timer. On the back, the solid steel caseback has several engravings. In the middle is the classic hippocampus logo, above which is the inscription, First Omega in Space, and below which is the date of Schirra's spaceflight, October 3, 1962. Housed inside is the caliber 3861, a coaxial master chronometer that's the latest generation of Omega's caliber 321 series. It's manual wind with a 50-hour power reserve. The first Omega in Space Speedmaster Anniversary Series is gorgeous. Well proportioned, with a retro slant and a very clean, easily readable dial. It's literally everything I personally look for in a watch. It's also not wildly expensive as far as Omegas go, at a price of £7,400 on flat link steel bracelet or £7,100 on either a brown or black leather strap. It's a shame that this was released just after the cutoff for the Oracle Time Watch Award 2024, because it would be right at home in the chronograph category.